Hey there, everybody. Welcome to our new edition of Big Brother 22 All Stars live feed spoilers. We are going to talk a little bit about the episode that aired last night, the aftermath of the triple, but also what's going on the live feeds right now. Campaigns are happening. Nicole is cranky. Where are things going to go from here? I think we could be set up for a potentially interesting endgame, but we're grading on a curve here. Compared to everything else this season, it could be interesting.
Yeah, what I like is that there are a few players that have been playing pretty well, like Cody, like Enzo, even like Memphis, and that we may be in a position where we're going to sort of see these heavyweights go at it at the end.
It is a battle of the bros. It's just not the battle of the bros that I've been hyping up for all season.
I know.
But anyway, if you guys do enjoy this discussion, be sure to give us a like, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, and support us further. Check those links to the store as well as our Patreon.
Also, last night we did our review of Dancing with the Stars. That's also up at the channel. So if you're watching that, come and check it out with us.
All
Was
right.
that your dancing?
That was my dancing.
All right.
I don't know if we can call it dancing, but that was my dancing.
So last night's episode did bring out some of the, filled in some of the gaps there that we were having of what happened with that vote. Why did Christmas and Tyler decide to try to vote out Nicole? Because they obviously thought that Enzo was going to vote with them. And
Yeah.
after seeing, of course, this is just a CBS edit, so we didn't see all of it. But what we did see, it felt like Enzo did not promise them anything. He didn't even say yes. He
Yeah.
didn't even feel like he was like leaning in yes. He was very specifically asking them questions and turning it back. So they'd be like, "Oh, what do you think about turning on Nicole and voting out Nicole? What do you think about turning out Nicole? Do we want to do this? Yeah, we want to do this. Should we do this? I don't know. Do you want to do this?" Like that's sort of what he was doing. And then all of a sudden it was like, "Oh, we got to go back."
I am really surprised, ultimately, that Christmas and Tyler voted the way that they did without really any assurances, because they both said in the DR, if you're gonna take a shot like this, you can't miss the shot. And it's amazing hearing Tyler say, and it's true that he's never voted on the wrong side of the vote ever in his time on Big Brother, and that's because Tyler is an incredible Big Brother player. He hasn't been as good all the time this season, but he's a really good player and he understands how this game works. He didn't have 100% assurances. I was kind of hoping that Enzo actually had made a big move and pulled the wool over their eyes, but it doesn't really seem like he did.
Yeah, and it was even telling just seeing them pass each other on the way to the vote where, Enzo was like, "Who did you vote for?" "Oh, yeah, we voted out for Nicole already. Are you going to do it?" I don't know. It's not what Cody wants sort of thing. I don't know. And at that point, you could see on Tyler's face, it was like, "We already voted." But, that's on you, Tyler. Tyler, Christmas, you guys made a mistake. If he didn't say yes, don't do it.
Where I'm going to be for the next couple of days, probably, as I am about to lose someone else who was one of my pre-show favorites this season, and Tyler is sort of thinking, okay, coulda, shoulda, woulda, what should have happened? How could they have avoided this spot? And I have already gone all the way back in my head to being like, should Tyler have not targeted Janelle and Kaser? And should he have tried to form some big other alliance? But then I'm like, okay, a lot of these people on the bottom of the house, they weren't winning competitions. Would that have really worked for them?
If they had continued to play the way they were playing, then Tyler would have had to hold up that entire group. They won 0 HOHs, which I've never really seen underdogs just win nothing all season long. But Tyler would have ended up going much earlier, I think, because there's no way that he can just win it all the way to the end for all of them.
I think ultimately he or Christmas should have won a couple of other HOHs and just found a way to take a shot at a different point. And maybe something could have been different here, because it is also like, should Christmas have used the power of veto on David? But then you don't know what Memphis is going to do at that point, because he may be like, well, I'm upset about this now, so Tyler, you're going up in the place of David.
I agree. I don't think that she should have used that veto. There was a chance that maybe someone other than Tyler would have gone up. But you want to take a chance that you're going to save David and lose Tyler? Like, it is not worth it.
Yeah, like maybe there's a universe for Danny as the replacement nominee. You get rid of Danny there,
Maybe.
and then Tyler wins the next HOH. You take another big shot, but it's all what ifs at this point, and it's hard to really pinpoint exactly where the two of them went wrong. But this is where they are. But I did find it interesting in this episode, at least at first. It definitely did sound to me like Cody would rather have had Tyler stay this week rather than Christmas.
Yeah, I mean, it's not over till it's over. It's Tuesday. There's still more time left. If Cody can, that's the thing, is it's so weird with the edit, right?
Yeah.
Because you don't know if producers are kind of like, okay, we need this particular sort of sound bite to sort of make it look like, oh, the struggle is real inside of Cody. Who does he want? Who does he doesn't want? And we know he was waffling a little bit, so they may have been able to sort of guide the questions to get that sound bite, but maybe he's not thinking that. But if he is, I mean, this could still change around. It's a lot of it is now laying on Nicole.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so Nicole has, of course, been like, Tyler's the worst, he's a snake, he's got to go. But she feels more betrayed by Christmas. If there's some sort of way that Tyler can work over Nicole, it seems like Cody would be like, yeah, I'm all right with this. Yeah, let's keep Tyler.
I have a lot of thoughts about Nicole after watching this past episode, because it feels like Big Brother has finally decided, okay, let's stop giving Nicole the aw shucks country bumpkin edit. And I really feel like they gave Nicole a villain edit on this past episode. And I honestly, I prefer this. It's sort of like, if Nicole is going to be shifty and snaky and all that other sort of stuff, just go full villain. Like, there's nothing wrong with being a villain. Dr. Will was certainly not a hero all the time on Big Brother.
I don't need Nicole to go full villain. I think that, to me, I get what the edit is, and then I see what she's doing on the feeds, and I feel like she's just kind of in the middle, where she's got moments where she's a bit more vulnerable, and she has moments where she's being more sneaky, and there are lots of other people that are like that in the house.
The other thing that I am sort of thinking a lot about with Nicole at this point, and this is a big question mark for me, though, is that if Tyler and Christmas had voted on the same side, everybody got rid of David, would Tyler be a target of Nicole's at this point? Because Tyler would not have betrayed her at all. I mean, granted, neither would Christmas.
Yeah, neither would Christmas. And that was the big betrayal. It wasn't, to get out Danny or anything like that. It was that they tried to get her out. And I think because of that, that's where the hurt is coming from with Nicole. If they hadn't tried to get her out and they just got out Danny, well, that wouldn't be anything. Everybody got out Danny. So there's nothing for Nicole to be upset about.
Since I'm assuming nobody wants to hear us talk about an undressing yoga-themed head of household competition,
we'll skip right over that.
We're going to get more into the live feeds and all of this because, yes, in our view, based on the edit on the show that we have, I think the next 2 days are really all about, can Tyler find a way to get to Nicole with a pitch? Because I think if Nicole gets on board with keeping him, Nicole can then go to Cody, and then I think if Cody wants it, Nicole wants it, Enzo is going to go through with it as well, and then Tyler could theoretically stay.
Yeah, and I think it's possible because Nicole does play a lot with her emotions, and she just is a person who feels a lot. She's hurt, she's scared, she's whatever's going on in the house. So if he can really play up some of that, Christmas betrayal, and listen, I know, we were all in the committee, but the committee was falling apart, or listen, Enzo really tried to lean in on me on stuff. I mean, there's ways that he can work this out. Even just spending more time with Nicole. She's a have-not. She's by herself a lot. Go up there and be like, hey, man, you don't need to be by yourself. I'll be up here with you. Let's hang out and do it up here, We'll make a day of it. Let's study together, whatever. All those types of connections, especially when Nicole is isolated sort of by herself right now, can make her feel like she's making a connection with somebody.
Here is my ludicrous idea. I'm not This is not a fan fiction. I don't have a right. I'm going to put on the jester hat for this idea.
Oh my goodness.
This is a
Okay,
new
so
one.
we're in the clown car.
We are in the
here.
clown car
Right.
with this idea. Tyler can go up to the have-not room and be like, Nicole, listen, you got rid of Janelle. She's a fan favorite. People aren't going to like you for that. If you get rid of me.
that your Tyler?
Yeah,
That's
I'm a
pretty
fan
good.
favorite, man. Here's
I'm
what
a
you got to
fan
do.
favorite.
You got to work with me. We can be fan favorites. We can collab on Instagram. You can make a recipe from Angela's cookbook. Like, it is weird to me, though, honestly. Nicole, I think she's an influencer. She wants to be liked by people if she's an influencer. She keeps, like, besmirching the, like, reputation and attitudes of, like, other people America loves. It's like, what do you think is going to happen? And I understand not everybody loves Tyler. I haven't loved Tyler the whole time this season, but it's just like, this is not going to go well for you outside the game, Nicole.
No, and Tyler and Angela are in that same realm of being influencers, selling jewelry. They've got their online business. It's all kind of in the same realm anyways. So it's an idea.
It's not going to work.
Not the Janelle part of it or the like, I'm America's favorite player. That's not going to work either. But the idea of kind of like, hey, outside the house, maybe we can collab on some stuff. Maybe we can have like a Nicole line of jewelry. Maybe we can, bring you onto our YouTube channel, whatever that they've all got going on, because Angela's got her YouTube channel, all that type of stuff. That is a language that Nicole will be listening to. And after everything that happened with Ian, I don't know if she was told what's going on in her real life away from the game and that she may have lost sponsors or whatever was going on there, that maybe this is something where she's like, okay, this could work out.
Nicole, I've made
my
this
goodness.
necklace. She's going to look at this necklace. She's going to be like, why is that charm shaped like a snake? And then he's going to be like, it's not a snake. It's something else. But this is the thing with it, is that I don't think this is really going to work. But the point here is mostly just that Tyler needs to find a way to get through to her somewhat. And the hard struggle here is going to be finding time Nicole is either awake or not studying, because it seems like
Yeah,
she's asleep.
she's sleeping a lot up there, and she's also studying a lot. And this is where the sleeping, Tyler can't do anything about that.
Yeah.
But he can go up and help her study. And that is something where if he's sort of putting himself out there, but then he's also studying, so if he stays, it works out. But that he can be like, listen, I know I'm going home and whatever, but, maybe we can just study together. Like, outside the game, like, I really like you, so let's just, I want to help you get further. Do you want to study, buddy? That type of stuff could really work, where as, the day goes on, by tomorrow, she's just like, bah, screw Christmas. Tyler's here. He's helping me out. And during that time, he can start sort of being like, yeah, nobody's going to vote for me. It's not going to work out. And then she'll be like, oh, man, I can beat this guy.
Yeah, just talk about how you wanted to quit the game, Tyler. Just figure something out here. Because Tyler already knows, he's gotten the sense from Memphis that he's not getting any support from Memphis. And, he's talked to Enzo, and he's basically just been like that he needs some sort of miracle, or he needs to trick people into voting for him or something. Tyler knows he's in a really bad spot, but he did talk to Enzo about the idea of whether or not Enzo can actually beat Cody at the end of all of this.
Yeah, and it's a little bit strange because Enzo is kind of trying to be like, yeah, not everybody over there likes Cody, I have a chance or a thing. And to me, it doesn't feel like Enzo really necessarily believes that, but I just don't think he wants people to think he's coming after Cody, because Cody is really his protection, his ride or die right now. If Cody goes, he legit doesn't have really anybody. He's got Nicole, sort of. I mean, he did save her, and she said on the show, I'm in your debt, and she is. So, I mean, there's something that's building there, but he still needs Cody to be here right now.
Enzo, if you think you're beating Cody for sure at the end, you're eating too much Meow Meow Mix. Like, I don't know what to tell you in that situation. He's just got to figure out a way to either get rid of Cody or have somebody else get rid of Cody, but not, like you said, not yet. I think he needs him right now. He did have this sort of interesting moment on the show where he was like, Nicole, if you don't win anything, I got to cut bait with you soon. And I feel like he does need to get rid of Nicole at some point fairly soon because he needs to take that option away from Cody so that Cody can't take Nicole to the end over him. Just eliminate even the possibility of it.
The issue is that Enzo can also beat Nicole.
I know.
And if they're at the end, Enzo needs to not take Cody and instead take Nicole. So if he takes that option away from both of them, Enzo may be in a position where, let's say he wins that final one, he's like, oh, I've got Memphis, who he may or may not beat, and Cody, who he probably won't beat. He kind of needs Nicole to be around. He can beat Nicole, and he can beat Christmas.
This is why Enzo is in such a weird position, because I don't think anyone who's left is really necessarily bad for Enzo's immediate future in the game. Like, nobody in the Final Five is gunning for Enzo. I don't even know for sure if any of them would put him on the block unless it's to make sure somebody else goes.
Yeah, which is crazy to me because he has been playing a pretty good game. And I'm actually wondering if people just think that because he hasn't won enough comps yet, he's won, one HOH and one veto, is that enough for him to win? Because then he's sitting against Cody, who's won a couple HOHs, Memphis, who's won a couple HOHs, even Tyler's won too. Like, it's not looking that good for Enzo in that way because New School doesn't seem to really look at moves as much as they do comps. They look at them, but not as much.
I'm really looking forward to a show where we can get more confessionals about the long term, because we know Christmas seemingly is fine to gun after Cody right now, but who else really is, what everybody is thinking about in terms of long-term options. We have more we need to know about this stuff. Maybe we'll learn a little bit today. We'll be back to discuss some of that, but for now, what do you think Tyler and Christmas could have done differently to avoid being in the spot that they're in? Let us know in the comments, and if you do like this video, give us a like, subscribe, support us further, check those links to the store as well as our Patreon, and we'll see you here next time.
Everything best.